that is the danger of it. That's exactly the issue that we have, is that we see these highlighted reels, we see these picture perfect moments in other people's lives, and then we compare ourselves to them. And that doesn't make any sense because it's unrealistic. Are you craving more peace and presence at home, but feel constantly overwhelmed by your to-do list? Welcome to Intentional Motherhood. I'm Kelsey Red, a mental health counselor turned stay-at-home mom, teaching busy Christian moms to make mindset shifts so they can actually enjoy motherhood. Did you know that I send out newsletters so that you never have to miss anything going on with intentional motherhood? Head over to the show notes or the website creatingintentionalmothers.com to get signed up today. Hi, friends. Welcome to Intentional Motherhood. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a great Mother's Day weekend, and happy anniversary to Intentional Motherhood. We have been going for a full year now. We started last Mother's Day with this urgent need to start this podcast and start talking to you guys, all four of you who have been listening every episode this last year. I appreciate you being here with me. We're probably at least up to the dozens of listeners at this point, but thanks to those of you who have been with me from the very beginning, my mom being one of my most loyal listeners. She's been my biggest cheerleader this whole journey. So, hi, Mom. Thanks for listening. I love you. But in all seriousness, I cannot believe it's been a whole year. If you know me, you know that I tend to start things impulsively, make rash decisions, go for it, and then lose interest very shortly thereafter. So to stick with something for a year is a big deal for me. So thanks for being here to celebrate with me. I've been just thinking about this and thinking about the journey, and honestly, there have been so many times when I have felt so discouraged and just wanted to quit. And I've been recording episodes at the very wee hours of the morning or late at night, in the middle of the night, essentially. And it's I'll just say it can be a little lonely and discouraging to be sitting in my closet in the middle of the night talking to a microphone by myself. And I try to remember that I just wanted to help one mom. I just wanted to help one person. And when I do get some feedback from someone here or there who, says that, "Oh, I listened to your episode and it helped me so much and I started doing this," that gives me so much encouragement, and it reminds me why it was that I wanted to start this, why I had this idea in the first place. And like I said, the sense of urgency, I can't even put into words why and how it felt a year ago when I just felt like I had to start this now. I don't know, maybe I'll never know the reason why, and maybe there was, someone who needed it a year ago and it has made a difference for them. But for whatever reason, I just felt an urgency to get this message out. And I think part of it is, that discouragement that does come, that comes to all of us. And I think it comes more now than it maybe used to, because our worldview is so expanded through social media and through all the platforms that we have to see what is going on in everyone else's life. It starts to make our life feel very insignificant and maybe even a little pointless. Like what difference does it make? What does it matter? What difference does what I'm doing day in and day out make in the world? And I think the problem is, again, that our worldview has expanded to where we think that the world is this huge, space of all these amazing people and amazing influencers who are doing awesome things all the time. They're not only the CEO of their own company, but they're also traveling to foreign countries regularly, and they're doing all the Pinterest children's activities and making perfect meals and have a house that's clean and white all the time. And that's what we see. And it's like, no wonder we feel like, wow, I'm doing a terrible job, or I'm not doing enough, or the things that I'm doing, which feel so mundane, like reading stories to my kids or changing diapers and cleaning dishes for the fourth time today, are so unimportant. They don't matter. And why can't I be like all these other, highlighted women that we see out on the internet? And that is the danger of it. That's exactly the issue that we have is that we see these highlighted reels, we see these picture perfect moments in other people's lives, and then we compare ourselves to them. And that doesn't make any sense because it's unrealistic. And that's not to, knock on any of the amazing women out there who are doing a great job and putting a lot of effort into what they do, but I wouldn't say it's normal, and I think that's part of the problem is that we have this now skewed definition of what normal is because we see something on social media so often that we think that must be normal, and therefore I'm the one who's not normal because my house is a mess and my kids don't look perfect all the time. But I don't think that's real, and we have to keep that in mind. And I remember actually doing a journaling exercise where this came to mind. I have these big ambitions, and I always just, think I want to do something that matters in the world. I want to make a difference in the world. And in this journaling exercise, it's actually a really cool exercise that I encourage all of you guys to do. Go look up Elizabeth Gilbert's Letters from Love. She has you do this journaling exercise where you're writing to yourself from the perspective of unconditional love. Maybe that's synonymous with God, but however you want to define it or word it, she does it as a letter from love to yourself. And so I was writing this letter from unconditional love to myself, and the words came to me that you are making the most important difference in the world of the 5 people who live under the same roof as you, and when we start to think like, oh, what am I doing that's important or significant or relevant in the broad social media world, maybe it's nothing. But what are you doing that makes the difference in the world of your 4-year-old or your 1-year-old, or your other children, or even your spouse? That's what matters. You are the world to them. And to them, what you do is the most important thing. My son has been saying the cutest things to me lately. For a while, he would come and give me a hug or lay on my lap or something, and he'd say, "This is where I spend most of my time." And I was like, "Where? At home, on the couch, in bed, where?" He said, "Right here with you." And I was like, "Yeah, you do. That is where you spend most of your time." And it made me so happy. And first of all, I was like, I want you to spend all your time with me. I love you so much. But it also made me realize this is where my children are spending all of their time, is with me. They're watching me, they're observing me, they're interacting with me. So yeah, I am making a big difference in someone's world, in a few people's world. And not only that, but at the end of at the end of this mortal life, what matters more than the difference we made in the lives of our children and our spouse? What matters more than the relationship that we have with our children and our spouse? Those are the most important things. And if we lose sight of that, either by looking at unrealistic content or by, priorities that shift and take over, then the problem is that we really will make a difference in someone's world, but it might not be what we think, it might not be for the good that we're hoping. We might actually miss out on some of the impact we could have had in the most important relationships in our lives. So, I wasn't necessarily expecting this podcast to go this way, but I'm just going to go with it. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from and you can relate, and that, these thoughts can hopefully help someone out there, because that's the whole point. That's why I started doing this a year ago. That's why I'm still doing it, because I just pray that there is one or two, moms out there that are feeling positively impacted by the messages that I'm sharing. And I appreciate you guys, my listeners, all 4 of you, being here with me every episode. I love you. I appreciate you. And don't forget that you are doing the most important job in the world. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me today on Intentional Motherhood. If you enjoyed this episode, would you take 30 seconds to rate and review it so more and more moms can find this podcast? I'll see you next time, and until then, remember, you're doing an amazing job.